using two boreholes, and these boreholes have been drilled about 20 years ago. That means the population has outgrown the volume of water the boreholes provide.
Have you taken a glass of water this morning? I can imagine. That tells you how essential water is to the survival of human beings. Today, joined on the BISA platform, we have Joseph, who provides potable water to communities. Welcome to the 9th episode on the BISA platform, and this is your girl, Betty Osei-Bonsu. Today, on the BISA platform, we are highlighting youthful interventions in communities. Following this, we would want to have a peek into the works of Joseph, how he's creatively enhancing access to water and inspiring growth in his communities. Thank you, Joseph, for joining us. Do you mind telling us your name and what you do?
I am Joseph Maudjorm, and I'm from a community in Ghana called Asesewa. So I'm a water treatment engineer and a water supply engineer. Help communities get potable water in good quantities. That's what I do.
Okay, that's lovely. Assisting communities get potable water. So tell us a story from your life journey. How did this potable water start?
Okay, so when I was young, we all had a community well where we used to travel for about 1 kilometer to fetch water from the well. And in school, the teachers shared days for every student to bring water to their houses. Because it's a rural area, the teachers, when they come from the bigger towns, they needed help in getting water. So that's what got my interest in water and potable water for that matter.
Wow, traveling several kilometers to get water. And not to even mention the fact that when coming to school, you carry your own water along. Oh my God. So do you mind sharing with us where you currently stay?
So I'm currently staying in Asesewa, in that same town.
Now
it's a bigger town now.
Which
it's
country
in the
is
eastern
that?
region, Ghana.
Ghana,
in the
okay.
eastern region of Ghana.
Okay, so what intervention did you then decide to bring to play with respect to this problem you identified in your community?
So because of my training, I knew there are two main goals I had to achieve. To get one, potable water, and two, the potable water should be in large volumes for everybody to get enough of it, okay? Because if it is potable and the volume is not okay, people will still need to look at other sources. So those were the two things I intended to achieve. Already there's a government agency, Community Water and Sanitation Agency, providing a service, but they are only able to cover about 60% of the town. 60% of the town. And this is because they are using boreholes. And the boreholes that have been drilled, they are using two boreholes. And these boreholes have been drilled about 20 years ago. That means the population has outgrown the volume of water the boreholes provide. So then I decided to do two things to improve this. First of all, I spoke to private well owners or other people who can afford drilling their own well. Now, why will you spend a huge amount of money to drill a borehole and use it alone when you can provide the excess capacity to others? So I convinced them that, okay, you're having a good yield. Let's provide the excess capacity. Let's sell it to others. Then by so doing, you also offset some of your costs.
Wow.
Then at areas where people don't have private wells, I decided to seek for funds or from my own private funds to drill boreholes, treat it, and supply those communities. So that's what I'm doing.
Wow, I think that's really, really beautiful. Diversifying livelihood within communities. You don't have water, you have water. If you have water, why not extend that water to other people? In return, you get some money to treat your water and produce more water. I think that's a lovely work you are doing in your community, Joseph. So tell us, were there any disappointments along the way?
Yeah, there were disappointments. So, for instance, sometimes when we try to provide solutions, other people in authority thinks we are there to compete them. They don't see it as we are there to supplement or complement their efforts.
Yeah.
So sometimes there are attempts by some authorities to stop us. But then, because we are providing a need for the community steps in and say, allow the person to do it for us. Yeah.
Okay.
So
I think that
sometimes those are the challenges. Yeah.
Wow. Monopolization is a huge issue we've been having in Africa with African service providers, where everyone thinks I am the sole person who's supposed to produce this, so no one else should come. And when we have someone else coming into the particular play or field, then there's some conflict of interest. So how were you able to overcome this particular conflict of interest apart from the community standing in for you and saying, oh, he's doing a very good job and let him continue?
Yeah, so one way I dealt with it is to know the laws.
Okay.
So apparently the provider, the water service provider, in the acts in the constitution, they are supposed to look for private people to help them achieve the aim of providing potable water to the community. And they are not regulators. They are also service providers. So going to the laws and reading their acts, I was armed to be able to stand against them and say, no, you are even supposed to look for people like us to help you achieve your aim. So I'm not off course. So that's how the first way I dealt with that issue.
Know your laws. I think this is another area that people refuse to get accustomed to. Nobody wants to read. But I think, Joseph, you're doing a very multidimensionally inspiring work in your community. So I want us to dive deep into that particular accessibility you are providing in the community, where you reach out to a particular household and you tell the household, okay, provide your water to the other communities and get money. How are they able to ensure that they recover as much money as they can using that particular initiative?
Okay, good question. So I want to start with my own example first.
Okay.
Because I initially talking to them, some don't see the idea until I put it into practice. So I have three water points.
Okay.
No water points, like 3 boreholes are strategic points where I sell the water to the community.
Okay.
So the model is that at the point where people will fetch the water from, each point has a prepaid water meter. Prepaid water meter. So the attendant or the one managing the point buys the credit from me or the quantity of water in bulk.
Okay.
Then it's loaded on the prepaid card. Then the person sends it to the meter. Then others come and buy it from the person in the yellow gallons, which are 25-liter gallons. So they buy from me and sell it to them. So how am I able to manage it? Because it's a prepaid water metering system, I don't go about collecting money and saying people haven't paid me.
Okay.
2, because it's a prepaid water system, I have everything on record because it's obviously managed by a computer or a software. So every sales or every volume of water I sell to a prepaid card, everything is saved. So then I can show you that these are the volumes people are buying from me. And multiplying it by this amount, this is what you are supposed to get. That means I'm having the data to back it up.
Okay.
I'm having the data to back it up that in the rainy season or in the dry season, these are the volumes I can sell, especially if you have a good yielding well. Okay. So with that, then I began to speak to people to show them. Don't forget, people are also interested in the financials and the economics, whether, will it make economic sense? Yes. So now, because I have everything, I can show you, yes, in January, these are the volumes I sold from this point. These are the expenses I made. So it will make sense. So that's how I was able to convince them. Then they also implemented, though I'm using a prepaid meter, some are using the normal postpaid meters, but so that they will be able to trace, because if a homeowner has a borehole, the person cannot attend to it. But the one attending to it, how do I make it transparent? How do I see the volumes you sold?
Okay.
To see it, there has to be a meter so that I can monitor the meter. So that's one way I've dealt with this issue.
Wow. And do you think this is currently increasing jobs in the community?
Yeah. So for instance, in my case, I needed to give her a plumber or someone who will take care of, if there's a leakage in my pipeline, the person will fix it.
Okay.
If the tanks are empty, the person will switch the pumps on. The person will have to go around monitoring whether the sellers of the water or the standpipes have water quality issues. That means I trained someone to do that, and we are paying the person.
Wow.
Secondly, those also attending and selling at the standpipes, they are also making about 40%. 40% of the money of the amount they sell is for them.
Okay.
So it makes it interesting for them to also put in an effort to make sure everybody is getting water. So people are getting jobs from it. Not only that, for example, in one of my communities, it's a Zongo community. And we know in Ghana, those communities are responsible for producing food, porridge for the citizens in the morning, and our wache we love. So imagine a community like that not having potable water. What will happen? That means they are going to cook food which is unwholesome for the population. So what happens, because I've been able to provide them with potable water, that means more of the women can go into producing and selling food, which is also healthy.
Wow.
Yeah, so people are earning more livelihood from it.
Wow. I think those are inspiring livelihood creation you are bringing to play, Joseph, in terms of increasing accessibility to water, creating jobs, diversifying the livelihood. Those are very, very inspiring. I can see some water behind you. You mind telling us, how have you done some innovation to your borehole to produce such a water now?
So this is how I started my water journey, producing sachet water. So a quick story: after my university, my undergrad, I read industrial chemistry, actually. So it had nothing to do with water, but because it's chemistry, I understood water. And my house was having enough water for the house. So my parents thought of how to make extra money. Then we said, okay, let's go into sachet water production.
Okay.
So because we had that excess capacity, we went into sachet water. Then from there, I said, okay, how do I learn more about water? Then I started doing MSc courses and short courses on water and how to make water more potable. So that's the story. So this packaged water, which from these two we've trained, I have about 15 workers.
Wow.
Who do this. 15 workers who their education background is just senior secondary school. We train them ourselves to give them a livelihood. The skills they got, they can go to other places to work. So that's the story of this.
That's very, very insightful. You heard Joseph very, very well. Out of abundance, they are creating several impacts in their communities. So this brings us to one of the two final questions we have for you today. how do you think communities, or how do you think individuals can tap into your experience and create impact within their community?
Okay, thank you for that question. So like I'm saying, there are two things we hope to achieve when you are supplying water: the quantity of the water and the quality of the water. But even if you achieve that, if I go into a community and provide that, how do I make it sustainable? So one, I have trained people. For instance, I go into a community and your pipes are spoiled. Do I need to come from wherever I am, even if I'm outside Ghana, to come and tend to it for you? No, I have trained people. In every community we do projects, we train people to take care of the system, to do basic maintenance, which I call first aid.
Okay.
They do the water treatment first aid because there are times you don't need to bring an external person to do that. Now, whilst we train those people have also gotten a skill to attend to other issues in the community. Okay. So you don't only keep our equipment and our water supply lines maintained, you also get a livelihood by attending to other people. Then two, I also train people in water quality issues. How do I know this water is quality? Since I train people, the people also now have the skill to train others. Then lastly, but most importantly, the software for the prepaid meter. Because it's there, it makes the process transparent. I know how much money I'm making. I know how much volumes people are buying. It even makes planning easier. I can know which community needs more water, which community needs less water. Then it helps in your planning that if I need an expansion, which community should I go to? Okay. So it gives me data, and that's how I also help other communities. That you need the data to plan. I need population data to plan, because in my community, for instance, the problem I see with a utility service provider is, like I said, there are 2 boreholes were drilled about 20 years ago. Wow. Are we saying 20 years the population hasn't increased? Are we saying because of global warming and climate change, the levels of the water in the borehole hasn't reduced? How are they mitigating the problem? How are they? If 20 years ago the water was okay, now it won't be okay. That's because true. The population has grown. And I also ask people to think business in water provision. Because for instance, if I bring my water closer to you, if I connect it to your house, because it's luxury, you pay higher than the one who goes to the standpipe, so that I can do price variation to assist those who cannot afford at a higher price. So these are some of the things I'm teaching people in the community, and to make water accessible. Because SDG 6 is not just to get people water, but the water must also be close to them, so that people don't go long distances. Women and children don't go long distances searching for water.
Wow. Well said. You said transparency, resilience, sustainability, accessibility. Oh my God, that is one hell of a sustainable development goals you've just put together, and you've created an impact with that. Mobilizing individuals to increase the accessibility to potable drinking water in communities is something commendable, Joseph, and we are backing you so much on this particular initiative. So now, do you mind sharing with us what way or means can individuals support the work that you're doing in these communities?
What if a telecommunication person will agree to help me? Because mobile money is common in Ghana and is very used. How can we make the prepaid water meters? How can we join into the mobile network, so that instead of the person walking to the point of sale to buy a credit, the person can sit in the comfort of the home and purchase the credit on the mobile phone? So this is one way big corporates can help me, like the telcos. Other ways others can also help me. There are communities that need water. Other NGOs provide them water, but the problem is there is no sustainability. The problem is there are no measures for the communities to keep on maintaining unless they go back to the funders for money. So I would like other NGOs who are also interested in these ideas to partner with me, so that if they want to provide such services in areas, we can send a prepaid water metering system. We can train others on how to maintain the system, so that people don't need to come from long distances to maintain the system. Then we can make their projects also more sustainable.
Wow. So this brings us to the end of today's interview with Joseph. From problem, he created a solution. You heard him clearly. Please do well to support him. NGOs, wherever you are out there, come in and make sure you partner with him to ensure that there is sustainability in the work they are doing within those communities. This was another inspiring episode on the BISA platform, and with your girl Betty Osei-Bonsu. A LinkedIn post mentioned Joseph to be achieving resilience with his works in the communities, and that is what he's doing, and he's doing that very, very well. Thank you, Joseph, for the opportunity. Please, our audience, don't forget to subscribe to all our social media platforms and leave a very interesting comment. See you on our next episode. Bye.
Gone is tomorrow. Today is here. Achievement to be accomplished. Nothing to fear. You're twice as tall, and it's not too late to take up your rightful position. In the world of fears,